Today is a very special day to be a Star Wars fan, as today we got the official release of the official Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's final trailer by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, a lot of fans are very excited for this movie and what we just saw during Monday Night Football. Of course, during halftime, during the Jets game, a lot of fans were very excited about what they saw between Rey, Kylo, and Palpatine. So let's get right down to the breakdown and let's go over this. Now, what's really interesting about the very opening shot here, in case you guys did not know, there is going to be the return of the world of Endor in The Rise of Skywalker. So, the world of Endor, the forest moon, I should add, is going to be a part of The Rise of Skywalker, and that's exactly what we are looking at right here. You can obviously hear we have the training helmet as seen in Star Wars A New Hope when Luke Skywalker used it, when he was training with Obi-Wan Kenobi on board of the Millennium Falcon, so that's another nice little callback. She's running through the forest, woods with the blue ignited lightsaber here, as you can see. So you can see that she's training. We can see that some of the blaster fire can be seen in the background. That's either from the training droid or a nearby enemy, for all we know. And as she's running through, alright, there's a set of dialogue by Poe Dameron that begins to play over the shots, where it says, "It's an instinct, a feeling. The Force brought us together. We are not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them." So Poe Dameron talks about leading this new army, basically forming the entire galaxy into one. Now, what I like so much about this is that this transitions to a particular sequence right here, where she jumps off the cliff on the world of Endor. She jumps off the cliff right here, and then it transfers over either into the interior of the second Death Star wreckage, or this could very well be the interior of a Star Destroyer, very much like what happened during the events of The Force Awakens, where she's scavenging in there. So you can see that this most likely is the remnants of the second Death Star wreckage. It kind of looks like a hangar bay of some kind. We do know that she has experience in this on Jakku, traveling the innards of the Star Destroyer that we saw on Jakku. And here we can see that she's doing the same exact thing as she did in The Force Awakens. And it transfers to a shot of Poe on the world, or should I say of Finn on the world of Pisana, with the binoculars giving yet once again a nice little callback to that of The Empire Strikes Back, where Luke Skywalker was using something very similar to scope out some targets. And this is once again where we see Rey with the blue ignited lightsaber, and it transfers over to this unknown world, where we do see Lando Calrissian over here in the distance, and we also see Rose, and even, of course, other characters that we have seen before are part of the Resistance. We can see Poe here, a gathering, if you will. This is where Poe says, "We are not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them." That, of course, alludes to how the Resistance is going to gather all of these different forces around the entire galaxy, from all corners of the galaxy. So as we go through here, this is actually said to be the very segment in which we're going to go on board of the Tantive 4. In case you guys did not know, we are right underneath the Tantive 4 over here. This is the ship of the Tantive 4 landed. The last time we saw this was in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and chronologically speaking in Star Wars A New Hope. Alright, we have the return of Rose and some other characters here in the background. That might have been Dominic Monaghan's character. Let me see. That's Dominic Monaghan's character. He's actually said to be a Resistance soldier in this film. And here we have Poe, Finn, and of course Chewbacca once again on the world of course, this jungle world that we are actually seeing in, of course, The Rise of Skywalker. By the way, this orange X-Wing that you do see is Poe Dameron's brand new starfighter in The Rise of Skywalker. So we do know that there's going to be a lot of new ships in this film as well. And as we go here, here's the Tantive 4 taking off from the jungle world. Again, like I say, there are going to be two familiar worlds in The Rise of Skywalker, a brand new jungle world, and we have the other side of the forest moon of Endor as well. Here we have, of course, Endor once again, since it has 8% water. We are actually looking at the second Death Star wreckage. You can see the turrets, you can see Rey over here, and if you look very carefully behind the water, you can see that this is where Kylo Ren is set to emerge. This is where Rey says, alright, she says something very important that, relates to her lineage, where people keep telling me that they know me. No one does. And then Kylo Ren emerges from the mist, stating, "But I do." Now, this could very well match directly up with the leaks that we have been talking about, that Rey is indeed the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself, Emperor Palpatine. Now, this all brings us to a moment in which Palpatine is talking about, of course, how they're going to unite. This is, by the way, a base called Manal Base. It's actually said to be on an asteroid of some kind, floating in space. You can see the little city over here on the left part of the frame with TIE fighters entering in there. And as we go through this is Palpatine's new throne. We actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that it's going to have these spikes sticking out each side, and it's going to stand around 10 feet high, if not more. And obviously, looking at it now, it is higher than 10 feet high. So you can see that it has a very unique design to it. I gotta point one thing out here. It almost reminds me of Game of Thrones, and I think that J.J. Abrams really drew a lot of inspiration from Game of Thrones, without a doubt. We have the lightning striking on the world of Exegol in the background, as you can see. This is where Palpatine is saying, you know, this is long have I waited, and now you're coming together, is your undoing. So that's one of the great lines of Palpatine. And now we have Star Destroyers emerging out of the water of course, the world of Exegol. So the world of Exegol, in case you guys did not know, this is actually a dead planet in the middle of the unknown regions, and Palpatine hides a lot of his forces underneath the surface of the planet. That's exactly why you see these Star Destroyers emerging from the actual surface of the planet. These new Star Destroyers are equipped with new super weapons called the Annihilators, which are able to destroy planets, basically the surface of planets, while keeping the planets intact. Now, moving on through, we have the iconic shot of the Millennium Falcon, and just before the Falcon comes into frame, you can see the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels for a split second, some U-Wings in the background, you can even see some Y-Wings. I mean, you pretty much got every single ship in the Skywalker saga here. And moving on through this, we have a nice little callback to Star Wars A New Hope. This brings me back to, Episode 4, because we never really got the trio together, and now that's exactly what we are getting in The Rise of Skywalker. Here we have Rey and Kylo Ren fighting on board of the second Death Star wreckage once more. The waves, I want to point something out here, and this is most certainly a parallel to the lava that we saw in, of course, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, between Anakin and Obi-Wan, so take note of that. I'm not quite sure what that explosion is there. Let's take another look. That could either be the explosion of a specific ship by this Star Destroyer, as you can see on the left, firing at it. We do know that there are going to be new super weapons in the film, so this could be a test fire. And this is a new water vehicle of some kind. We can see, if you look very close, it appears that Finn might be piloting, actually it's Rey. You can see Rey piloting this thing. I want to actually go over this vehicle and why this is a direct callback to The Force Awakens. I want you guys to go ahead and look at the art book of The Force Awakens. There was an original idea by JJ that Rey would be traveling on a watery world using a water ship of some kind. So obviously this is how she's going to get to the second Death Star wreckage. She's not going to be swimming her way there or scuba diving her way there. She's going to be piloting this thing, or, boating this thing, if you will. So you can see the wreckage. This is the rim of where the beam would shoot out of. Very immersive, I gotta say. There's Babu Frick, a brand new character working on C-3PO, and this entire shot is said to set up the moment in which C-3PO is going to lose his memory. Sadly, that's what's going to happen in the film. He's going to lose his memory. They're going to wipe him clean in order to read a specific text related to, of course, Palpatine on this dagger of some kind. So here we have Rey and Finn. Moving on forward, C-3PO, I gotta say, looks very shiny in this shot. They did a great job with the cinematography. Excellent job, JJ and crew. And as we flow through here, we have them infiltrating one of the First Order Star Destroyers. This, by the way, in case you guys did not know, is Kylo Ren's new First Order Ravager ship. Alright, so on board of the Ravager ship, we have Darth Vader's helmet that's stored on a podium, which we're going to get to in just a second. I think it's going to really be a very interesting shot for everybody. Here we're back on the world of Pisana, the speeder chase sequence. We can see some jump troopers following, Rey and her crew, Poe, Finn, etc. Here they are. And we have Lando Calrissian. It's so great to see him back once more. Chewbacca's there with him. It just brings us back once again to Return of the Jedi, and that's what I love so much about this. Here we have a Y-Wing. By the way, this is Zorii Bliss, alright? She has her own Y-Wing in the film. So Zorii Bliss is portrayed by Kerry Russell, in case you guys did not know. And this is where we have the horses infiltrating the the actual base on the world of Exegol that belongs to, of course, the new Sith Empire. And this is, once again, that goes back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, that both Rey and Kylo Ren would be fighting inside the old Palpatine throne room. We can see the old throne here, we can see the iconic window panel, and of course, that's exactly where Luke Skywalker was looking out when Palpatine was telling him, with each passing moment, you become more my servant. Now, this is a big surprise because Finn jumps on the second Death Star wreckage. Now that tells us that he's trying to grab the attention of Kylo Ren, and this is exactly what I was talking about Kylo Ren's Ravager ship. You can see that they single-handedly destroy Darth Vader's helmet standing on that podium. So it shatters, as if it's just glass. Destroyed right there. So Rey and Kylo Ren fighting inside of his Ravager ship. That's the name of Kylo Ren's new Star Destroyer. And as we move along, once again, we're on the world of Exegol. That's the name of Palpatine's planet, where the new Sith Empire resides. We can see some B-Wings, we can see some Y-Wings in the distance, TIE daggers, lots of new ships. I gotta say, the cinematography looks pretty damn impressive in comparison to The Last Jedi. Kylo Ren here looks pretty beat up. This is most likely after he fights the Knights of Ren from the leaks that we've been going over these past couple of weeks, give or take. And as we go through, you can slightly see Palpatine here on the left side of the frame, hooked up to wirework. So we heard that he has this arm device that keeps him alive of some sort. It's like a dialysis machine. And this is where Rey is confronting him on his outside throne room, where the lightning is striking in the background. And that brings us to the final shot, where Luke Skywalker says, the Force will always be with you, and Leia says, always. I believe that actually pertains to Luke and Leia being Force ghosts in the film, and that they are actually reaching out to both, of course, Rey and Kylo Ren at a certain point in time in the film. So there you have it, guys. That is the official final trailer of The Rise of Skywalker. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with what J.J. Abrams has in store. A lot of fans are going to be very excited about this to see, exactly what Palpatine's going to be doing in the film, and how it's all going to lead to both Rey and Kylo Ren, and how they're all going to interact with each other on the big screen. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.